All right, so let's get started with Pilates.
Right.
And just gonna mute folks. There you go. All right. Okay, let's go. Let's do the hard stuff. I mean, the fun stuff. The fun stuff. All right. Take a breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale out of the mouth. Good. So bringing focus to the breath. Feel free to take water breaks at any time. And I really do mean that. I know sometimes when we're doing Pilates and we're not as, sweating as much or jumping around as much, it's still kind of important to have water here and there. I know I don't drink a single drop of water during this entire class. However, I do want to say the importance of water. Inhale and exhale. And then I'm always giving modifications of movements. So feel free to take any variation you like. If you already know you have a specific way you want to do a certain move, just go ahead and do it. Take one more breath in, lengthening the spine up through the top of the head, and then exhaling down. So you can always keep the head on the ground if you have any neck sensitivities. You can always be on your elbows if you have wrist sensitivities. If you have lower back pain, you can always keep your feet on the ground. Those are sort of the basic adjustments. Inhaling and exhaling. Today I want to actually do sort of an extreme imprinting, I guess. So what I mean by that is we'll do your normal imprint on the exhale, lift your tailbone up, but then I want you to really, really actually arch your back and drive that tailbone down, sort of going beyond neutral. So normally you don't want to arch your back this much in neutral, right? But I just kind of want to find your extremes of your spine and your pelvis tilting on the floor. Go ahead and move with your breath. You can imprint, exhale. Here my tailbone is off the floor, and then I inhale into my arched back tailbone on the floor. And then as you do this, just slowly ease up on it to be into less extremes until you're doing sort of your more regular imprint just to neutral. And just kind of feel that neutral. You don't want to be arched. You want to have a slight arch in your back because that's actually neutral. And to feel the difference of when you're forcing sort of a neutral versus just letting your body kind of come back to where it resets naturally. So on the imprint, I am pulling the tailbone off the floor, but on the neutral, I'm really just kind of relaxing my abs and my tailbone just kind of falls its way back to the floor. Imprint is the work. Neutral is the relaxation resetting. Now, having said that, no more relaxation. Imprint, and then bring those legs up to tabletop. 90 degrees in the knees. Exhale. Keep the imprint as you tap out and return. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Forgot to mention, you can play music at your place if you'd like. I'm not playing any music. It's actually shockingly silent here today. Sometimes my neighbor upstairs jumps around. It sounds like they're exercising though, because they are jumping around to such a rhythm. Okay, go at your own pace. Exhale to lower, inhale to lift. One more time on each side. And you can continue the single leg lowering, or you can move into a double leg lowering without feeling the obligation to go all the way to the floor. The important part is that you stay imprinted. So if I feel myself losing the imprint and going into that neutral or arched position, then I want to stop the lowering of my legs. And if you take the toes all the way down to the ground and still sort of manage to have your tailbone off the ground because you're imprinted, that is what we're going for. It is challenging. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. One more time. Good, drop those heels. Feet on the ground, hip distance apart. Starting in neutral, so your tailbone's on the floor to start. And then on the exhale, you're going to imprint and start to roll up into your hip bridge, squeezing your butts, pushing those hips up. At the same time, reaching those knees away from the shoulders. Inhale to top. Remember to keep your butt squeezing until your tailbone hits the floor. Exhale, start to roll down, inch by inch. I'm still squeezing my butt, and then tailbone hits the floor, and I can relax my butt. Inhale, exhale. Sometimes we start to relax the butt as we start lowering, but we want to try to keep it engaged. I don't want to say clenched. Clenched is a weird word. I'm going to say keep your glutes engaged until the tailbone hits the floor. All right, let's do 2 more at your own pace. Exhale when ready. Press through the feet. Reach the knees. Feel that length in front of your body. Abs are engaged as well. So you basically have 2 forces working on the one spine and pelvis. This is a good time to practice mobility in the spine. See if you can roll up 1 vertebra at a time. And lower down 1 vertebra. We got ab prep or the crunch. The crunch is basically moving your rib cage toward your hips in a very physical, descriptive sense. I do nod my chin because your head has to come off the floor in order for the shoulder blades to come to the floor. Just how the body works, the sequence of events. Head, shoulder blades, eye gaze on your knees. Exhale. All right, I'm gonna lift my legs to tabletop, but this time squeeze my legs together, and I'm gonna continue to crunch. Eye gaze to the knees. I'm gonna go through basically the 4 leg positions that your legs can be in during hundreds. The first one was feet on the floor. The second one is here in tabletop. Third version is straightening up those legs, feeling the hamstring stretch, firing up those quadriceps. There are quite a lot of leg straightening exercises in Pilates. So that's why Pilates exercises are used in some knee rehab exercises, because you're always focusing on a quadricep that supports the kneecap. All right, and the 4th version is legs on the diagonal, straight, and I'm not going to do that with crunches. If you want to pick that position for your 100, you can. But basically, you can pick any of those 4. All right. Go ahead and find the position you'd like to be in and start to pump those arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're at 60. Inhale. Exhale. 70. Inhale. Exhale. This is something better that I don't count out loud. Inhale. Exhale. 90. Inhale. Exhale. I feel that made the hundreds go by a lot faster. Either that or I miscounted. Okay, so on our spine, we're not on our spine. We're on our stomach to work on the muscles around our spine. Inhaling to lift the chest, top of the rib cage, top half of the rib cage, maybe top 2/3 of the rib cage. And here we want to keep the head and neck aligned with the spine. So I'm just gently tucking my chin and making sure my eye gaze stays on the floor. Using forearm support for now. Top of the feet stay on the mat. Go ahead and engage your leg muscles, even though your legs are not currently lifting. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Think, lift and lengthen. So as I'm lifting, I'm reaching the top of my head forward, away from my toes. Good, I'm going to add a leg lift. So I lifted both legs, but don't worry about how high you lifted. It's just a little floating off the ground. Try to keep the legs as straight as possible. So you're firing up those quadriceps. And I'm actually going to take away my forearms When the legs lift, it almost feels like it's a better counterbalance or a better balance when the arms are also straight. So reaching those fingertips and toes all to the back corners of the room. But I'm still thinking about lengthening, so I'm still reaching the top of my head away from my fingertips and toes. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. So I know you can't really measure how high I'm lifting my limbs, but it's just inches. Really, really not high at all. Take your spine stretch. At any point during this class, you can always come and stretch your spine. Or do any stretches that you feel your body needs. We're gonna do a rocking plank. I really like rocking planks versus just a holding plank. A plank is just boring, right? Let's be honest here. So I like adding the rocking motion because I feel like I get a nice little calf stretch. So my leg is straight and engaged as I reach the heel to the back of the room, and then the other. So I got my elbows underneath my shoulders, and my feet are about hip distance apart. I lower my hips to about shoulder height. And you should feel your abs engaged here, right? And then depending on how your shoulders feel, you're gonna rock forward and back. And again, I really like this because as I go back, I just feel a nice stretch in my calves. Forward and back. Now you can adjust the intensity level. If I scoot my feet back and get my shoulders behind my elbows to start and then rock forward so they're over my shoulders, over my elbows, that's a little more challenging than if I started with my shoulders over my elbows and then my shoulders went ahead of my elbows. So feel free to pick where your starting point is as you rock 2 to 3 inches forward, 2 to 3 inches back. Adjust your feet as necessary, right? Things shift around. But what I, again, really like, as I mentioned before, is feeling that calf stretch. Good. Rock forward, rock back, calf stretch. Forward. Keep alternating your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, 1 more. I think I generally exhale as I go back and inhale as I go forward, but really you can do either. Okay, hopefully you are sweating a little bit and feeling pretty warm. At least I am. And we'll come to the front half of our mat for our half roll back. Starting with the arms in front, basic roll back, rounding the spine, keeping the toes on the ground, and keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale to lengthen as much as you can. Exhale, roll back. I'm going to show some arm variations, but you can keep your arms right here. I'm going to open up my arms. You can go as far back as you want, but the reason why I'm not doing that is because later on I'm going to do similar arm motions, but as I'm going back. So version 1 is that arms are forward as you roll back. They open up as you sit tall. Exhale, arms forward. Inhale, arms open. So kind of lift up your chest, right? Like take that breath in. Lift the chest, expand the lungs, bring that air in. I don't want to do too many before we get too tired. And then we change the arms up. Come back here. Keep the arms forward as you sit up. And now as you go back, open up the arms, but don't open it up too much. Feel how it feels first. So if I immediately go straight back, that might be too much, right? It is more challenging to open up the arms. So with every rep you do, let's see, maybe I'll go a little further this time. You're still aiming to go back to that same half roll back distance from before. You're just opening up the arms a little bit. And you don't have to open up as much as you did before. It might be just to the corners, 45 degrees. Shoulders stay down away from the ears. Good. So this is version 2 and definitely a little more challenging because we're opening up the arms as we go into our half roll back as opposed to keeping the arms in front. Okay, enough there. Let's roll on back. I'm going to have you pull 1 foot in, feet on the ground, leg on the ground, active. So the leg that's straight is active because you can engage the quadriceps when the leg is straight. But the bent knee, you can't really activate the quads when the knee is in a bent position. However, we will fire up those quads as we start to roll up. Find your flow. We're going to inhale, arms reach, nod the chin, shoulder blades up, exhale. I'm going to shoot my heel down, fire up those quads, and then reach for my toes. I like to flex my feet here because, again, I get a calf stretch. My calves are just tight. Now, if you point your toes and do the stretch, then your hamstrings get a stretch, your lower back gets a stretch, but your calves do not. So your calves don't get a stretch when your toes are pointing. Pretty much what it is. Drag the other foot back. And remember to keep the leg that's on the ground active. Inhale, exhale. It's like I know I'm going to get stuck if I don't shoot my leg out straight. And you can sort of get the timing of it after doing a couple of these. You're looking for a nice flow. So you could roll up to here, realize you're stuck, and then kick it out. But after having done several of these, right, you can sort of anticipate, like, I am going to get stuck here. So I'm going to straighten out my leg and then engage those abs. And then I can slowly, with a nice flow, seamlessly roll up. Hopefully we're also breathing here. Back leg bends. Inhale. Exhale. On the way back, we inhale. And then exhale, place your sponge. So one more on each side, total of 6. In and out. Feel free to hang out in the hamstring stretch a little longer if you need to or want to. And last one here. This leg work kind of looks like the single leg teaser, which I did last week, which we'll do again today because we had so much fun. All right, time for the adjustments. I really don't know why that always happens. All right, so we're going to do single leg stretch today with some isometrics. So as you pull the knee in towards your chest, you're pressing the knee away. So it's like arm wrestling, 2 opposite forces. All right. The more you pull and the more you press, the more kind of an isometric contraction you experience. So from here, reach out one leg. So if I didn't push, I'll feel a certain amount of work. Whether my head's down or if my head's lifted, I'll feel a certain amount of work. And the moment I press, I should feel a little more work. And that's the goal here. Inhale to switch, exhale, press. Inhale, exhale. Pick the leg angle you want with the extended leg and pick the amount of sort of pressure you want to give yourself. An isometric pressure. It's an internal battle you're waging right here. If your neck gets tired, just place everything down, head, neck, and shoulder blades. Those are always, they're best friends. Head and shoulder blades come up, head and shoulder blades go down. I'm feeling quite a lot of work in the abs, even with my head and shoulder blades down. So don't ever feel like you're taking away work leaving your head down. It just feels different sometimes. All right, let's change it to the obliques or the bicycle. So hands behind the head and rotate. This is the basic one, nothing crazy here. Exhale to rotate towards the bent knee. Inhale to the midsection. Exhale. Not the midsection, the midline. We're aiming to go on a pretty slow, steady pace, set by our breath. Okay, one more time on each side. And then when we go into double leg stretch, same thing. You can place your hands right on the side, no pressure here, and then extend to any angle you like, or you can put your hands on the front of your thighs and push. So creating that, once again, that isometric pressure. And then head, neck, and shoulders up. Exhale, reach. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, pressing into the thighs as my thighs pull into my chest. Again, just a variation to do these ab series exercises. All right, last one. And then going into our scissors, which I'm gonna just say right here, when you're doing this, you can obviously pull the straight leg in and push the leg out. But I'm gonna save that for another day because it is really, really challenging to do that, especially after doing the isometrics for the other two. So I will just do sort of my typical guiding of the leg in. But again, this pressure here, if you wanna do it, go for it. It's an option for sure. Just gonna explain why I'm not doing it. So leg as straight as possible, hamstring stretch, quads engaged. Good. Exhale here, inhale the switch, exhale. One more time on each side. Whew. All right. I am ready to flip over and continue with Pilates. Okay. Stacking those hands. This is our weighted version of spine extension. The spine muscles are now lifting the weight of your arms. Feet are apart. I never have the feet together. It feels a lot better to have, especially for your lower back, to have your feet apart. And then go ahead and lift your arms and top part of your rib cage off the mat. This is definitely challenging, so don't focus too much on height. Focus again on that lengthening at the top of the head, forward, away from your toes, and have those legs active. Good. If you want to lift your legs, it looks like this. I'm going to throw in one more variation here. It's to extend the arms out. So a little more endurance. So you inhale, lift, exhale, reach to a T. Nothing has changed about my legs. Put those fingertips right back to the forehead and lower. If you want to continue going up and down, please do so. This is a little bit more spine endurance. Inhale, lift, exhale to a T. Arms out to a T. Fingertips back to the forehead and lower. Just keep alternating the breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Good. Do two more. Again, you can always keep the feet on the ground. Let's push back for our stretch. And let's go into our hip bridge. For the hip bridge, main goal is we're going to lift up a leg and we want to keep the right and left hip bones at the same height. So if you get up here, once I move this leg, the front leg, you don't want this side to fall. So that really, if I lift this leg, that means the remaining leg has to do all the work, all right? So the work is today, well, let's all just do it together. Push up into your shoulder bridge. I basically want sort of a peripheral vision on these hips, all right? I'm gonna lift my front leg, tabletop. On the exhale, I straighten it. On the inhale, I bend it. On the exhale, I straighten it to the diagonal. It's a little different challenge when you're on the diagonal, okay? Inhale, back to tabletop. Look at your hips, not your leg, your hips. Exhale, extend vertical. Inhale. Exhale, extend diagonal. When I say diagonal, it's not an exact diagonal. I wouldn't go lower than the knee. I would say knee height or higher. So you could do this diagonal. The point is that the diagonal feels different than the vertical. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, extend diagonal. Last time. Vertical. Check out your hips. Then lower the feet. We'll just do 4 of each side and then lower. Okay? So sometimes when we reach the leg vertically, it almost like pulls our hip up and it helps us. But sometimes when we extend on the diagonal, that's when the hip likes to dip. So definitely watch out for the hips as you go on the diagonal. Let's try the other leg. Inhale here, legs to tabletop. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend on the diagonal. Inhale, bend. Exhale, vertical. Inhale. Exhale, diagonal. 2 more of each. Look at your hips. 1 more of each. Good. Put the foot down, and then put your hips in. All right, we're just going to try that one more time on each side. This is a newer exercise. So sometimes when we do something new, we're like, whoa, what's going on? And then the second time we do it, we're like, okay, we got it. Same thing, push those hips up. Again, look at those hips. You can see it when it's moving, if you're looking at it. Leg up the tabletop. Exhale, vertical. Exhale, diagonal. Inhale to bend that knee. Although if you prefer breathing, the other format, inhaling to extend, that's fine. Totally fine. Last one, reach. It is. Okay. So I will say that my left hamstring is tighter, so when I'm having to extend my leg vertically, it is more challenging. But I have a lot more strength in my right butt cheek. So whenever my left leg's in the air, my right foot's on the ground, I feel stronger that way, even though my left is tighter. And now, my right leg has more flexibility, so when I'm straightening it, it's so much easier, but my left butt struggles when it's the only leg on the ground. And those are just interesting things to notice about yourself. Vertical, diagonal. So things you want to focus on in your body as you do these exercises. Last one. Whew. All right. I always put the foot down and then I lower the butt. I don't know why, but I guess you could put the foot and butt down at the same time if you want. Oh, let's take a nap. No, just kidding. All right, so we're gonna do some side lying stuff. When we're lying down like this, it's kind of the best position for our neck, which is why often I'm here. But it also ends up being the easiest for leg lifts because our upper body's on the ground. So whenever you prop yourself up like this or like this, yes, your neck is sort of a little more challenging position, but then it's harder to lift the leg. So I just want to point that out because we are going to be coming up to our elbows a little bit later. And you always have the option to stay here. Okay, whoa, almost fell back. Here's our kickstand hand, thank goodness. So first thing I'm going to have you do is lift both legs. And now we're not going to go into our standard typical stuff. I'm going to have you lift both legs and place them piped forward. I'd say 30 degrees. Maybe aim for the corner of the mat. The corner of the mat, and then aim for the other corner of the mat. Here we're straight. I happen to be lined up against my back edge, so I do hit that corner. But if you're in the middle of your mat, you don't want to aim for the corner of the mat because you'll be going behind you. So you want to go to straight, and then about 30 degrees. Good, lift. So we're not just lifting barely so we can bring it over there. I want you to lift as high as you can, and then bring it over there. Lift as high as you can, and straighten back up. Lift. Kind of feels different when you're piped versus not. Now stay straight and lift repeatedly on the straight body. Let's do about 8 of these. So you're not going to feel as much outer thigh here. You might feel a little more inner thighs, but the main focus is actually obliques today. So we're on our side, targeting the obliques. Oh, of course I lost count. So let's go to the piped version. This is going to feel a little more different and a little more challenging. Feel free to use your hands if you need to, but lifting in a piped position. Yeah, it feels different. You're gonna feel the obliques a slightly different way. It might be easier, it might be harder. It just depends on your body. Two more here. Good. Now bring it back straight. You want to lift it or drag it over there. And we're going to lift the upper body. So this bottom hand, it's not really just the bottom hand, it's actually the entire forearm. So I press into my forearm, elbows, and you can use a little bit of the top hand to lift the upper body. And again, this is that crunch that we did in the beginning of class where the rib cage moves toward the hips, except we're not lying on our back. So this is a side crunch. And it's it's a lateral bend, meaning there is no piking, right? So I'm not actually going to bring my legs forward. So pretend like you're stuck in the back edge of your mat. And you can only go upward, you can't go forward. And now you should definitely feel your obliques a little bit more. Let's do two more. All right, good. So, propping yourself up. I'm actually going to bypass this one because this one, to me, like, sometimes people really sink their necks in there, and it's always an option too. And I've done classes with that before, but we just always rely on patience in the neck. So I'm going to actually go straight to this elbow, and once again find that straight position, and then we're going to lift up and then to the front. And you should be able to feel that it is just more challenging when you're propped up. Don't sink into the shoulders. I mentioned that a lot, and hopefully I will remember not to. I'll practice good demonstration here. So again, you're trying to lift as high as you can, but don't worry if you can't lift as high. It is more challenging to lift the legs up when your body is at an angle. Stay straight and lift. Again, don't worry if you can't lift very high. Just think about what you're working here. You should feel your obliques. I feel my obliques. Now, if you find that you can't lift your leg, it's a little too much, then come here, because this is a semi-propped position. And again, you just want to make sure that your neck is okay. All right, so this is a middle ground. And then take your leg forward and lift. So this is intentionally piked. It doesn't mean I'm rounding in my spine here. I still have a neutral spine, then I have an angle legs. Okay. How is everyone's side butt cheek here? Hopefully it's okay. Maybe we should rest a little bit. Yeah, let's rest a little bit. Let's go to the other side. There's one more exercise I want to do on that side, but we'll go back to it. Let's come down here. Lift, going to the front and back. Piked, neutral. Piked, neutral. Target obliques. And I can't even lift my hand up for a second without falling over. Stay neutral, go straight, and lift. Keep alternating the breath, keep breathing. One more. Bring it forward, piked, and lift. It's okay to put pressure into that, yeah. If you need to help for lifting. Last one. Bring it back to neutral. Press into the bottom arm. Lift that torso. You might be wondering why I didn't bring the leg forward and do this lift, and I'll tell you why. It's because we're going to be doing these side teasers, and it's kind of the same thing. Okay, you can prop yourself up. So we got this as one option. which by the way, you know, might put a little pressure on your wrist, so you may not want that. And then this is more of a neutral wrist. Stay strong in the shoulder, stay lifted in the shoulder, bring it forward, bring it back, forward. Hopefully you feel it here. Stay straight and neutral and lift. So even though I'm just getting like maybe an inch off the ground, I still feel it really intensely in my obliques because I'm taking the weight off my legs. You put your hand right here on your obliques. I mean, you can just feel it get hard and contract. Good. Bring it forward. Good. Do this on the other side. Okay. So what I want to do is, because why do I think I'm forgetting something? Did I do something on this side that I didn't do on this side? Did I? I guess I can watch the recording and I'll know. Can't think of it right now. Okay, so here is sort of what we call a side teaser. So you all know what a teaser is. We end up balancing our tailbone. So we're here, and you lift. The first thing you want to do is fall back onto your butt. Okay? And then straighten up the arms. And oh, you can keep your knees. So I'm pretty much on most of my two butt cheeks, but I would say I'm definitely still favoring this front one. And then I'm going to come back to the start position. Whatever you want to do this arm before, it's fine. You can here, but we do reach the arm up sort of parallel to the thighs, just like we do in teasers. All right, go ahead and roll back onto your butts. That's up. At this point, if I want to lift this arm up and be in a full teaser, right? This is like the knee or here, I can. You don't have to though. You can just keep here. Bend, return. Awkward arm, no, just kidding. How are we doing? Let's try it again. I'm actually gonna remember to keep my knee bent. For some reason, I keep just keeping the leg straight. So roll back, pull the knees in, straighten the arms, straighten both arms, yeah. And here, this is the ending position. And again, I'm sort of favoring my front side. I'm still a little off center, but that's because I kept this arm on the ground. Again, that's an option. And then, if you wanted to try keeping the leg straight, which I already demonstrated, you would, as you roll back, here's the knee bent version. As you roll back, you keep the leg straight. As you roll back, you pull the knees up. Let's do two more. Inhale to prepare. I know I didn't talk about breathing. Exhale here. Inhale for a hold. Exhale, lower. And when you lower, you do want to lower with control. You don't want to just fall back, right? So inhale to prepare. Exhale, roll. Activate the abs with the legs. Inhale, hold. Exhale with control, bending the elbow. All right, I think that was around 8, and I think I did, like 4 bent knees and 4 straight legs. Of course, I'm terrible about that, keeping track of that. But that's what I'm going to do on this side. I'm going to do 4 with the knees bent, and I'm going to do 4 with the legs straight. And you can pick any variation you want to do of that. Make sure that you're in a position on the mat that when you roll back, that you don't roll onto the floor. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it just won't feel as comfortable. All right, so bent knee. I'm going to roll back, inhale to prepare, exhale, pull the knees in, straighten the arms. There is 1, inhale, exhale. This looks nice. Inhale, prepare, exhale for 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. I'm basically more or less coming to a squared position. But again, because you have this front arm on the ground, it's okay if there's a little bit more weight shifted to the front butt cheek. Inhale for 4. So this is the 4th bent knee one. Now I'm going to attempt 4 straight leg versions. So when we come down, remember it's not fully relaxed. You want to stay strong in the shoulder. And there's straight leg number 1. 2. I rolled off my mat because I did not position myself with it. 3. Maybe we'll skip the other teaser today. Jeez. And last one. 4. All right, good. So we'll call it a day for the sideline stuff and then come onto your stomach for some spine work. Okay. So it's always good to get some shoulder movement involved when you're doing spine work. So we're gonna draw these semicircles, and then when we reach back, we're just gonna lift the legs. So on the exhale, reach your arm forward. I'm in a really, really low hover. I'm not completely on the ground because if I was, then my hands would be off on the ground too. So I need to be in a low hover so my arms are just above the ground. And then here's inhale for 1. Exhale, sweep forward, sweep back, inhale for 2. Keep those quads engaged. Exhale, inhale for 3. So even when my legs come to the ground, my quads stay active. So when I when I lift my legs, my extended legs, the legs stay straight. There's no hamstring trying to bend it. Anytime your hamstrings are engaged, it means your quads have released some of its strength, right? Because you can't bend your knees with your quads being active. Last one here. It's pretty intense. Okay. So back. All right, so I did mention earlier that I was going to do these single leg teaser thingies. And I think you can handle it. I think you can handle all of it. But before we get into that, let's kind of do a prep work. So hands behind the head. So we're going back to the crunch. And you can also reach your arms forward like this. Okay. So whenever your hands are behind the head, it supports the neck, but it also adds additional weight felt to the stomach. I'm going to, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm going to extend the leg. So as I crunch, extend. Return, pretty much relax because the feet are on the ground. Crunch, extend. Other leg. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time on each side, and then I'm going to do with my legs and tabletop. Anytime the hands are behind the head, be really aware that you're not pulling on your neck. Abs are doing all the work, and my hands are just supporting this 10-pound head. That's all it is. It's not at all assisting in the lifting of the head. The abdominals lift all this, and the arms, head, everything just going for the right. All right, so let's be imprinted here. And then I'm going to extend a leg as I crunch up. Inhale, prepare, exhale. Where do I want to drop the leg? Wherever you'd like that you find is challenging but doable. Inhale. Exhale for the leg. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more reach. These are all the muscles that you need to start a teaser. Right, this is the start of the teaser. Okay. So why can't we keep going? It's because we got stuck. The only way to really continue to roll up onto our tailbone is to have both legs out of the way. And also, we want the arms reaching forward. That helps. So if we go into our teaser, we have inhale, arms, head, shoulder blades. Get stuck here, extend the legs, roll up. Not going to do too many of these because, again, I want to go into those single leg versions. So extend the leg, roll down. And it's always that the legs extend just before the lifting of the spine, just before the abs kick in. So head, neck, and shoulder blades come up. Legs extend, abs crunch. It's like back to back. I'm going to do the same thing on the way down. Leg extend, the ab work. Ab work to lower. Right? Ab work to lift, ab work to lower. Right after the leg extend. Now I'm going to extend only one leg. Inhale, exhale. Pull back. Same thing. Extend the leg and then start to roll down. Extend the leg, start to roll down. With control. Other leg extends. Arms, head, shoulder blades. Leg extends, abs crunch. Inhale. Same leg extends, my back leg. Good. I don't want to do too many of these, maybe 4 more. I'm going to demonstrate one more version, which is keeping the leg straight. Inhale. And then for your last 2, you can decide any version you want to do. Inhale, exhale. Keeping the leg straight. Inhale. Keeping the leg straight. It's already straight, so I don't have to extend it before I roll down. Last one. No, that's not the last one. I said 2 more after the 2. All right, 2 more. Any variation you want, whether you want to keep the leg straight, legs bent, or you want to do the double leg teaser. It is more challenging to only straighten one leg because you only have the weight of the leg that's extended sort of assisting in the roll up. Your abs have to do much more work when you don't have the physical aspect of legs kicking out to assist with that. And I do mean that there's a lot of assist. Whew. All right, we're coming to our hands and knees. So Blair, feel free to do some exercises on your side. Or I should say, anyone that doesn't want to do stuff on the wrist. Okay, so you're here, extend the right leg, extend the left arm, so basically opposites here. And then I'm just going to do some tap down. So keeping the arm straight, I tap down. As I lift the arm, I tap down at the toes, leg straight. So if they are connected to the same pulley system, as one goes down, the other goes up. My spine is going to be very stable and neutral and straight. My limbs are staying straight. Last one. Gotta bring the limbs back in. Let's try the other side. Extend legs to parallel first. And then arms. Lower the arms. So reach like you're trying to reach for the farthest place you can on the mats. And then as you lift the arm, you're constantly reaching forward. And then same with the toes. Toes are constantly reaching back and then also trying to reach the farthest place they can touch on the floor. Lift the arm just to parallel. Lift the leg just to parallel. So part of this challenge is that as you're lifting and lowering, sometimes we don't come to the same height. Sometimes we come a little low. We don't usually come too high on the arm. You can feel it, but it is very likely that your leg will come up too high. So really focus on keeping the abdominals braced as well. That keeps your spine in neutral. All right, bring it in. Round the spine. And arch the back. Okay, and you can do this without being on your wrist. In case your wrist need a break, you're here. And then you can arch your back, get your arms involved. Basically taking your spine to the extremes. Right? Round. Round. And again, if you're on your wrist, tucking the tailbone under. All right. I went over a little bit because I was yapping in the beginning. I didn't start class on time today, sorry. How are we doing?